We are going to look at a lot of consumer trends today. Really, as you kind of listen to this, if you can't see some of the things on the screen, don't worry about it. Really, the point is to take away one or two ideas or one or two things to ponder on. Just to let you know who we are, we're a company that has had 25 years of free time. We track retail sales in outdoor, snow, run, etc. I need to call out someone here. Dave Ray, raise your hand. Dave Ray is with the Snow Sports Trade Association. We exclusively track the snow sports retail sales. So Dave came out here to make sure that I only say good things about the snow sport business. But if you want an expert and you want deeper knowledge into what's happening in snow sports, Dave can tell you. Think about retail sales can be super boring. I mean, how many of you use our retail sales data, the Leisure Trends data? Does anyone in this room use it? So it can be boring. Some people think it's fascinating. We do at Leisure Trends. We're geeks. It can be fascinating. What you need to think, and so for those of you that think retail numbers are just numbers and they're boring, what it is, it's what? It's a consumer goes in a store. What did they buy? What didn't they buy? How much did they pay? What brand did they buy? What brand didn't they buy? What style did they buy? So all those numbers really translate to consumer behavior. And then we do a second thing is we look at consumers and we look at why. Why is that happening? So today we're going to spend a lot of time looking at why, the why, really why. What are those trends? What's happening within consumers? So I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't do, which is I'm gonna show you half of a commercial, and there's a reason for this. So don't get surprised when it breaks off right at the crucial part of this commercial.
Today we're taking some kids on the best field trip they could wish for, and they don't even know it. Hi guys, I'm Ranger Brad. Welcome aboard. So we're not gonna waste any time. Let's play Name That Leaf. What's this one? He says it's an oak leaf. It's a field maple, that's okay. I'm a big fan of trees, I don't know if you could tell. But we're not going to the forest today. We're going to Toys R Us, guys. You're gonna get to play with all the toys, and you're gonna get to choose any toy that you want. Welcome to the world's greatest toy store.
Has anyone seen this commercial? So a lot of you, right? And so for those of you that haven't, and you have to pull it up. Basically, he pulls his shirt off and says, "I'm not a ranger. I'm with Toys R Us." Bells and whistles go off. The kids get all excited and run into Toys R Us. So there's a huge outcry in a lot of communities, particularly the outdoor community, with this ad. The real so what is video games are making. I mean, I watched the video game ad, and I said, "Wow, I've never played a video game in my entire life." And I said, "Do I want to do that? That actually looks fun." Then it pans back and the woman sitting on the couch, like looking really excited. And I was like, well, maybe not, because it'll cut into my fly fishing time. But the point is, if we do not make our sports and outdoor recreation fun and exciting to consumers today, everybody else is trying to make their activities fun and exciting. So that's the challenge that we are in. So today, we're going to look at your best customers. Your best customers are active Americans. Those are core consumers. We're going to look at the modern consumer. We're going to look at some insights. Then we're going to look, since this is the holiday season, we're going to look at retail trends. We're going to look at outdoor, and then we'll kind of wrap up that challenge today. So keywords, and these are words, I would look at some of these because these are very, very, very important in consumers' minds. Quality and value. It's hugely important. Understanding your customers, understanding millennials, connecting, experience. You took nothing less out of this today. Experience is the most important thing to take away. Versatility. So we'll look at active Americans, and we're going to really kind of look at these trends. So what's happening with them, and who are most active Americans? They're your core enthusiasts, the elites, the super actives. They're active, they're educated, they're influent. But they're most importantly passionate and engaged. They know the brands, they know the stores, they know their sports, they know every little detail about the activities they love. And they're influential. They purchase at twice the rate of the general population, sports and outdoor recreational equipment. Now we look here, you saw some nice pictures before. This is all of Leisure Trends, we decided to put us in the globe last holiday season. So I just have to point myself out. I had that rooster fish on a fly down in Cabo and the little baby tarpon on fly up in the corner. If you can't tell, I love to fly fish. So, looking at active Americans, what is most important to them? And what's important to active people is activity as a lifestyle. You're going to see lots of quotes in here. They are verbatim from your best customers, the people you want to buy your products, the people you want to sell to if you're selling, the people that you're marketing to if you're a marketer. So we said they spend at twice the rate of the general population. This holiday, how much do you think your household is going to spend on your sports and recreational equipment, lessons, etc.? All of that gifting that has to do with sports and outdoor recreation. Active Americans said $697. The general population said $206. These are your most important customers. So, kind of transitioning, really what's going on, and we watch these active Americans. So I kind of, to back up, we have a panel of 2.8 million active Americans we're constantly surveying. And so we watch as these trends, and we watch as things ebb and flow. And this year was a real turning point. You start to say, I mean, we've seen this, the economy, and we've got lots of, we can do an entire study and talk today about how the economy doesn't affect people that are active. They'll still do and buy what they want to do. So this is kind of a constant that doesn't change. What we have seen is there's just this kind of, I've got enough stuff, I want experiences. And we've seen this growing over the past 3 years of, it's not about buying stuff, it's about taking that money and going and doing stuff. It doesn't mean people don't want to buy. I mean, this is a dual thing, because you could look at thousands of interviews where they then say, I'm not going to buy anything this year, I'm being totally conservative, and then they give us a list of like thousands of dollars of equipment that they want to buy. So it's just this real transition of, it's not about buying the product itself, it's about buying the experience, where it's going to take you. So quality. Quality is, and has always been for this group, super important, right? I want to buy the highest quality that's going to give me the best experience. But this is really, I mean, it's really reached this peak, and it started in the downturn. People started saying, I don't want to buy throwaway products, and we've just sort of seen this reach this crescendo in the past year. And here's the but. I want to buy the absolute best, and people are tired of high prices. I want to buy the best product, but I want value for it. And by that value is I either want to pay the lowest price for the best product, or you've got to build in the value. And that's one of the key things here is consumers, and these consumers particularly, will build in the value. They'll pay a higher price to buy it at a specialty store if that value, if there's a value add that's built in. So think about that. It's very important. So what we've seen through the entire recession is we've seen these changes in consumer behavior and active consumers. So it's that desire to buy the best product that's going to last a long time. Now there's also something here too. If the product doesn't perform or deliver, that consumer's gone. I mean, it will be a very, very long road to win them back. I mean, it's got to perform. And this is something that consumers have just changed. We now buy, and again, we talk about active Americans like they're somebody else. They're all of us in this room. We buy now what we need versus what we want. We know what we want, but we're going to make those difficult choices to buy what we need. Well-researched, highly savvy. We'll buy local. We'll choose to buy less. And that kind of takes us to the modern consumer. And so what we have now is this active American really embodies the modern consumer. And this is where a lot of this dovetails with retail and the specialty retail that's done in the snow verticals and outdoor verticals, is you have a lot of these traditional specialty retailers that are still selling to that traditional consumer. The person that buys pre-season. The person that comes in and says the salesperson is going to be the one that gives me all the advice that I need. That's clear retail channel preferences. I only go to the store. That's a traditional consumer that really no longer exists. We now have this modern omni-channel consumer that buys based on the activities they want to go, when they need to do it. We call it on the way to the picnic. I mean, literally, consumers are now buying when they're going to do it. So well-researched, will buy, will shop all the time, knows multiple sources. So we kind of transition here, and everyone talks about getting to know the millennials. Do we have, how many millennials do we have in the room? Is anyone? I mean, I'm definitely not. I wish I could even try to pretend that I was. But people are saying, we've got to understand millennials, we've got to understand millennials. Well, millennials is a big group. They're anyone from 18 to 32. Huge group, and I kind of say, this isn't really Generation Next. So when people talk about it, I'm like, this is Generation Now. Here's two millennials that had a very famous baby just recently. These are millennials. So these are the people that are the active Americans that are buying now. Now, the so what about millennials is this generation becomes that bellwether for the modern consumer. This is the first generation that there wasn't a before. This generation only knows that after, the new consumer. Sensitive to the environment, desire for less stuff. Again, owning a house or a car is either not important or not attainable, but it just doesn't matter. It's much smaller footprint. You're much prouder to have a smaller footprint than a larger footprint. This is the first generation, again, that there isn't that before. It's all been technology. So you're going to see that this millennial group is very much like that active American, and active Americans have a lots, I mean, you can be active up into your 80s and 90s. It's not an age barrier. Now, this was an interesting statistic about millennials, probably one of the only I'm going to put up, but almost half of millennials say word of mouth influences their product purchases. Now, when we go back and kind of look at that traditional specialty retailer that still is selling in the traditional way, they're going to think word of mouth is very different. This word of mouth is, I now tweet it, I put it on Facebook, I have it on my blogs. This word of mouth, instead of being 10 people or 20 people, could be thousands of people at one time. So we'll look now at some key consumer trends, and we're going to look at these key consumer trends that are really important, kind of going, all right, what's going on in the psyche of consumers' minds, and in particular, outdoor consumers' minds. So this is the number one, and this is the most important, is it's all about the experience. It is less about the product. The product is only going to help you get to that top of the mountain or make you cooler or comfortable or warmer. Whatever that is, it's still about the experience. Then we look at the next thing. And so we used to, if we were talking even 5-7 years ago, we might be, well, it's all about done in a day. People need to have products that they're going to go out and they can go hike a mountain in a day. It's less about a weekend trip or a week-long backpacking trip. Well, a couple of years ago, we're like, it's done in an afternoon. Now it's give me 45 minutes to get that same feeling. And literally, I'll give you a personal example. Boulder Creek runs straight through Boulder, if anyone knows, wonderful fly fishing. And so when we had that time crunch that, I've had to work, and this actually just happened, I was like, I think I'm going to go crazy. We've been acquired. We're working like a crazy amount of hours, and I don't have time to go out and feel better. And so I just got married, and so my husband says, well, just meet me down on Boulder Creek, and we'll fish for 45 minutes, and then I booked us massages. So we fished on Boulder Creek, had a wonderful time fly fishing, walked over and got the massages. But again, I felt as good doing that as I would have going on a weekend trip. And we are still getting more and more time crunched as Americans, so this becomes really important, and the retail trends follow this. Technology. Technology is the crucial part. It's part of your outdoor experience. This is mapping. This is, I think this is Map My Ride. This is the president of Leisure Trends. He rode with Schramm. The whole company rode to their sales meeting, and that's where they went from one point to the other. He shared that we experienced it as he rode. So very important. It's part of our experience. It's not something separate. it's part, and it enhances our experience, and we really, in some ways, don't even have the experience without the technology. And then it comes to sharing. Again, it's all about the experience, and it's about sharing. So we start to share your good experiences, your bad experiences, whatever you are doing. And we get here, experience blending. And this is another really, really important so what. Those of you out there making products, you're gonna, and you may still do it, but a lot of companies say this is our trail running line, this is our running line, this is our yoga line, this is our outdoor hiking line, and they start to segment. Consumer no longer wants that. They want, we call it trails to cocktails. They want products that they can wear all day long. That really is that versatile product that takes them from one activity to the other, from yoga to the office, to a hike, and then to cocktails. And we're seeing that. We're seeing the products that are selling in the outdoor business reflect that. And this was a hard trend that originally developed, and it was when running was just growing like crazy, and these races were just going like crazy. And so this trend we had to think about for a long time. We looked at a lot of data, years of kind of saying, what does this really mean? And what it means is, when the economy went down, it was kind of every man for themselves. If you went to your boss and said, I deserve a raise, they said, listen, you're lucky you have a job, forget the raise. And so you really didn't get personal satisfaction from your job. So we as Americans, as Americans said, we're in charge, and we decided to put ourselves in control of our own satisfaction and accomplishments. And you see that in that Map My Ride. You can share with your friends, here's my accomplishments, I'm going to pat my own self on the back. Now this happened in races, and the races grew. This is morphed though. So you start to look at that experience. And so a lot of times it was about the race and your personal best. And you start to look at now the running races that are popular, and they're really about achieving something, and a lot of them are about achieving it with a team. It's achieving a goal, and then it takes that achieving and turns it into fun. So here's a color run, and this is a friend who did the color run there. But so it's starting to say the experience also has to be fun. Our lives are far too serious. Now, I'm sorry to show you a non-Portland brand here. I was very sensitive to this, but this perfectly illustrates how you can take a serious subject. It's an old ad, very serious subject, and put a little fun into it.
See a lot of cops on bikes and motorcycles. You don't see a lot of cops in running shoes. Let's start a revolution! Just hop off the bike and just take off. Hey, is that thing loaded? What do you say we just fire it off in the air and just
start a race?
Get the whole block running. You fire a gun in the air, the bullet never comes down.
Yeah, it gets lodged in a cloud, right?
That's right. Why don't you take a whiff of that?
Just smell it.
100 meters, and this is yours. Nice handoff. That was so smooth. Could have used you in Beijing last year, I'll tell you that much. Can I see that gun?
So it becomes, how do we also make this serious fun? And running races have done that. They've made a very serious subject something fun. Now this becomes really important. Those consumers that I said, you can read thousands of interviews where people are like, I am so tired of high prices, but I want to buy the best product, but I'm going to research it. Well, this is important because what consumers also want, they say they want low prices, but we as consumers want an experience in the purchasing. Either we want to buy a pair of skis that's the only pair of skis because it was uniquely handcrafted, or the sweater was knit by a granny in Iceland and who signed her initials there. Or we went into the store and had this fabulous experience, and I got the pair of skis and this guy tuned them up, and then we're going to get this, and or they invited me to go out on one of their rides. So think about how even the purchase needs to be tied into a story. We're looking for stories, we're looking for experiences, and we want to be able to talk about those purchases. And think about probably your favorite purchases are ones that you have a unique story to it. So we're going to kind of go there. Those are the top trends. I'm just going to summarize them for you. It all comes back to experience, and this is something we this year said, all these trends, and they very gradually morph, and we always look at them. We look at them every 3, 4, 6 months, and we ask, has this changed? What does the data say now? What's happening? And so things change very slowly, but what was interesting this year was we said all of these trends, if I went and showed you the trends a year ago, they would have been named very differently, but coming a year later, it's all about the experience. Each one of those leads into an experience. So, active Americans, what are they going to put under the tree this year? Really important, because if they don't get it for Christmas, they still want it, and this is always an indicator. We do the study every year. We've done it every year since, 1999 or 2000. Very important to watch these trends. And there's a lot of things that don't change. So we ask, and this survey is when we talk about your sports and recreational equipment, apparel, lessons, those related products that you're going to purchase this holiday season. So again, this isn't the entire world. We're not asking them if they want to buy one for Christmas or want to buy a TV. We're saying, sports, recreational, equipment, apparel, and footwear. And so we ask, what are you going to buy for others when it comes to this category? We ask three things. What are you going to buy for others? What's on your wish list? And what are you going to buy for yourself? So here, this is what people are going to buy for others. Outdoor apparel and athletic apparel top the list. Then we look at bike accessories. Now think back to 2012, it was warm, huge surge in bike sales. So is it that people say, hey, I just invested in a hugely expensive mountain bike or road bike, I now want those accessories for it. Interestingly enough, Anna one, my sister, just sent her Christmas list over and she wanted bike accessories, very specific tires. So bike accessories, camping, athletic footwear. Footwear is a big thing, and it comes up on these lists, and it's very high, and it's really important, and we don't really think about it as a holiday purchase. And then I looked over, and I had 2 boxes of shoes for my husband that I'd ordered for his Christmas present sitting in my office. So again, footwear is a very important purchase. So I wanted to give you the rest of this list. I have the top 20, so you saw the top 10. This is the rest of the list, shopping for others, and I'm going to show you the full list because what else is on there? Running footwear, fishing equipment, snow sports accessories, outdoor footwear, snow sports equipment, electronic devices, so those are your wrist instruments, your Fitbits, golf equipment, surf skate equipment, and then one unique category all to itself, action cameras. So that's what people want to buy for other people. So this is what people plan to purchase for themselves for the holidays. Outdoor apparel, athletic footwear, running footwear, bike apparel, bike accessories, outdoor footwear, camping equipment, and athletic equipment. So this is what people have on their list, have in mind to buy for themselves. So we're going to look here at the next slide, and this is very telling because this is those same people, what's on your wish list. So what would you really like? And all of a sudden, that list is very different. Those electronic devices, those wrist instruments, those Fitbits, those come right up to the top of the list, as do bikes. And outdoor apparel, again, is always one of the number one. I just had to show you that picture. One of our analysts pulled this up. It's sort of a classic picture. And then his favorite thing, he is deathly afraid. I'm talking about Scott Jager. He's deathly afraid of dachshunds, so he had found this picture on there. Excuse me. When do active Americans plan to shop? Early, late November, mid-December. They're not last-minute shoppers on the holiday season. Now this is a very interesting slide because we also look at not just what are people buying, why are they buying, and what are they doing, but we look at retail channels, and it's really important. And Leisure Trends firmly believes in the core specialty retailers and how important they are to these sports. They are the lifeblood. That's where innovation starts. So this is asking consumers where they plan to shop on the holidays for their sports, recreational, or fitness products. Now you can see across the years, this green line here, this green line that's going up to the circle there, that green line is independent outdoor specialty stores. The red line on top is the chain stores, and the blue line is internet. So you see this growth in internet. This is where people desire to purchase, and this is really important because we have seen this. dovetailing in the retail trends where internet increases in purchases, specialty's gone down, and these channels are all meeting in the middle. Now this is a consumer's mind and their desire and where they want to purchase, and you see specialty stores going up. Very interesting trend, and something for retailers to think a lot about, because specialty offers a lot to the new modern consumer. That's for another day, but this is super interesting here, and one of those astounding things that when we got the findings, we looked long and hard at. Again, time crunch. This is us, active Americans. Guess what? 35% aren't going to take a vacation this holiday season, and 36% are going to take 1 to 5 days. Again, that need to have those experiences in a condensed timeline is very important, and the products follow. Again, people are buying the products that are going to help them get those experiences. What are the coolest gifts? Here's kind of a word cloud of all those things. Now, we don't tell the consumers, please check a list of your coolest gifts. All of this is open-ended. What are the coolest gifts you can receive? And you look through thousands where people, are writing, I want a new GoPro. I mean, they're writing the specific models that they want. Spending. So we kind of say, okay, crystal ball, what are you going to spend? Are you going to spend the same in the next 12 months? So we ask them to stop thinking about just the holiday season, but what are you planning to do? Next year, would you like to spend more? And guess what? Right there, it's about the same. Half of the people are going to spend about the same. We get some nice, I don't know if, let's see here, you get some people that are hopeful saying much more and more, but really people are going to spend about the same. Now here's some interesting trends here. We also said, well, if you got a lesson this holiday, what lesson would you want to get as a gift? Swimming is up huge in here. Now here is the other. These are lessons again. So you see that decrease in kayaking and canoeing lessons and the stand-up paddleboarding lessons. And stand-up paddleboard is something, how many people in here have done it? A lot. So, I mean, it's really fun. And so I just, to give you the aside, I got married in September at a family house in Cape Cod that was on the water. We're trying to get ready for this do-it-yourself wedding. We have people coming and going. I called a stand-up paddle woman and said, how much would it cost? Or how little could you charge me to drop off a bunch of paddle boards on the beach? She came over, I think dropped off like 6 or 7 boards for 2 days. Within 3 minutes, you had every single person, you had people from 3 years old to 80 years old on those boards having a great time. And I don't think that this is tapped out yet. I think that people are still discovering. It was, forget the wedding, this was the most fun I had, was the 2 days on the stand-up paddleboard. Here, this is retail. Now we want to look at retail sales, and this is why we love this cold weather, because we're in a business. This outdoor business is directly related to the weather. We're farmers here. This is really how you sum up 2012, and so that affected sales. This was spring. This was May 1st, Boulder, Colorado, looking out of my office window. So again, that affected sales. So we are, and now this is Boulder, Colorado, September 14th. So the weather directly affects the sales, and so it's something that we can't control, but we can start to understand what those patterns are. We look here. Consumers aren't going to buy, and we've seen this when you come off of a long, cold winter, epic skiing and snowboarding, consumers will start to buy early. They'll start to buy in August and September, right? Like, I'm going to go, and it's great, and I can't wait to go. But we've had, we're on our 3rd warm season. I'm looking at Dave over there. Our 3rd warm season, consumers are saying, I'm not going to buy until I'm going to go skiing or snowboarding. So that's what consumers are taking, that wait and see. We call that buying on the way to the picnic. And it's not just within these active Americans. You start to look at broader retail trends. And I was talking to some people that look at those very broad retail trends, and consumers have just condensed. They buy when they're going to do it. From outdoor and snow and run and paddle and bike, the early part of the year, things started great. kind of slacked off. Fall was really bad, the fiscal cliff and all that uncertainty in September, October. So really where we're looking at that sporting goods, we track $10 billion in sporting goods. Really think of that as all your running and fitness products. That's going to be up 3%. We were talking a year ago, we'd be saying running is on fire in the sporting goods channel, up 17%. It's slowed down. You look at the outdoor business. The outdoor business, everything will tell what happens this month of December. It's 25% of the sales, but the outdoor business will probably be up 4% this year. Snow, you're looking at 3%, bike 3%, run 2%, paddle 3%. There's a huge but here. When I look at the units sold, they're pretty much flat or slightly down across all these industries. It's the average retail selling price. Products are more expensive, and that's what's driving the dollars up. So looking at a couple outdoor trends here. So these are retail trends we're going to look at. Just to kind of remind you, these are the outdoor. So kind of look at this. When we look at sales in outdoor, the big puffy jackets are declining. And what are we looking at? We're looking at those, the lightweight down, the lightweight insulated, the down sweaters. Excuse me, that's what's selling right now. I just thought that, and then you're looking these were two other bestsellers. So you're looking at an urban style, and then you're looking at a 3-in-1 system there. So you're looking at some very distinct trends happening in outdoor retail. Here's footwear. So there's footwear from 2009. You see this growth all the way to 2012, and then you see kind of a drop off in 2013. So we're not seeing that excitement that we've seen in outdoor footwear, and this is what was driving those sales. So those big growths, I mean, it's sort of like the excitement just lifts everybody up. So footwear, these outdoor retailers were going crazy. They were making a lot of money in footwear. That little picture there, that's minimalist trail running. That was our representation of that. Everybody, got into that category. Brands did very well in that category. This was exciting. There was a lot of innovation here. There just isn't any new innovation right now to drive those categories. Again, there's Crocs, Vibram, minimalist trail runners, and Tom sort of mapped out. Again, you can start to see where they grow, and you can start to see where they decline. The point here is it's innovation, and the lack of innovation will slow down the entire category. So, kind of to give you guys a little end, what are we thinking about? We think about a lot of things. We watch a lot of trends, and I just thought I would pick some trends that we're watching, in particular when it comes to outdoor. So yoga. The outdoor space is losing to yoga. The yoga brands and retailers. And so what is happening that's not slowing down? Water is something that I think isn't tapped out, and stand-up paddle, I think, still has a long way to go. And if I were an outdoor retailer, I would be thinking, how do I get people out there on those paddle boards? And how do I build an entire category around it? We see a lot of retailers doing that now. Lifestyle. Everyone wants that active lifestyle. They want to dress like that. They, again, want to look good at cocktails. We see dresses, skirts, and skirts. Those sales go up because people want to be able to hike and then go out and look good. Versatile. Again, that whole versatile. And then barefoot, no, but natural, yes. So that's where that footwear trend is going, to that natural feel in footwear. So to summary, the fall slowed us down. The holiday looks pretty promising. If the weather stays really cold, that'll be great for sales. Retailers have managed their inventories really well. 2014 looks like it's going to be on par. We're going to weather. We'll all wait on the weather. It's how we can best adapt to that. And then new and exciting innovations are what drive sales, and we don't have a lot of those on the horizon. So we at Leisure Trends are waiting for what's next. So here I'll kind of leave you with the final thought and go back to that Toys R Us commercial, look at some of those video gaming commercials, and think about, it's not really about the outdoor business, brands competing with brands or retailers competing with retailers. It's about engaging the consumers into this market and not losing them. And so Sports Authority has a great ad out this Christmas that does that, and it's just a wonderful ad that says, this is This is a fun, interesting thing to do, sports.
Out here, there are no cheat codes, no avatars, no magic stars. This does not require an operating system or a username or password. And there will not be better versions of these games coming out next year. There's nothing like the gift of sport. This holiday season, shop the brands you love, plus thousands of items on sale now. Sports Authority, all things sporting good.
So thank you guys, and I hope you take the challenge and continue to engage.